Have you ever wondered if one single company could build the city you live in, power your home, and manage the money that makes it all happen? I know, it sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Well, today we're diving into WHT Global, a company that's pretty much doing exactly that, and turning entire industries on their head in the process.
Right off the bat, you can see the scale we're talking about here is just massive. But this global footprint isn't just about planting flags in 30-plus countries. It's about creating this giant interconnected network, a global brain really, where they can share ideas, tech, and what works across borders.
So that's the big question, isn't it? When a company has its hands in so many different pies all over the world, you have to wonder, what's the big idea here? What's the common thread that ties all of this together?
And this is their answer. Architects of sustainable transformation. Wow, that is a bold statement. It's saying they're not just here to build stuff or make money. They're here to design a fundamentally better, more sustainable world. But, that's a huge claim. So what does that even mean in the real world? Let's dig in. To really get how they pull this off, you've got to understand their structure. It all boils down to 5 core business pillars. Think of these as the main Lego bricks that used to build everything. All right, let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine room of WHT Global. The whole company rests on these 5 specialized pillars. And trust me, each one is a powerhouse all on its own. So here they are: energy, construction, technology, real estate, and finance. Now, any one of these would be an impressive company by itself, for sure. But the real magic, the secret sauce of WHT Global's strategy, is how they all work together. And this is where you can really see it in action. On one side, you have these vast, clean energy fields powering our future, and on the other, bam, you've got the smart, city-shaping infrastructure that makes modern life possible. It's a heck of a 1-2 punch. Okay, first up, let's talk about the hard assets. I'm talking about the steel, the concrete, the power lines, the actual stuff our world is built on. This is the domain of WHT Energy and WHT Construction. Get this, 5 gigawatts. That is a huge number. To put that into perspective for you, that's enough renewable energy to power millions of homes. So yeah, this isn't just some little side project or a PR stunt. Clean energy is absolutely fundamental to what they do. But it's not just the usual suspects, like solar and wind. They're building a truly intelligent energy system. We're talking massive, grid-scale batteries to store power for when the sun isn't shining. And they're even using something called virtual power plants, which are basically these super smart, cloud-based networks that shuffle energy around for maximum efficiency.
Pretty cool, right?
Of course, all that amazing clean energy needs a place to go. It needs to connect people and businesses. And that's exactly where WHT Construction steps in. They're building the arteries of the future, things like high-speed rail and smart highways. But it's not just about getting from point A to point B. They're also building the upper structure, the places where we actually live our lives. Think smart hospitals with better patient care, tech-enabled schools, and automated high-rises. It's all about creating cities that are not just efficient, but are built for people.
All right, so we've covered the hardware, the power plants, and the concrete. Now let's talk about the software. This is that crucial layer of intelligence that makes everything tick, and it's the world of WHT technology and WHT real estate.
So at the very heart of their tech strategy, it's this concept called a digital twin. It's pretty much what it sounds like. Imagine building a perfect virtual copy of a skyscraper or a power grid inside a computer. You can stress test it, optimize it, and find all the flaws before you lay a single brick in the real world. That's a total game changer.
And here's where all that high-tech wizardry actually shows up in our daily lives. You see the slick, smart home interface on the wall, and then you see the beautiful, sustainable community that it's all a part of. It's about using that tech to make our homes more comfortable, more efficient, and more connected.
So the bottom line is this. WHT Real Estate isn't just in the business of building houses. They are creating entire smart living environments. The whole shebang is designed from the ground up to be better for us and better for the planet.
Okay, so we've laid out all the individual puzzle pieces: power, construction, tech, real estate. Now, let's snap them all together. Because this, right here, is where the WHT Global strategy gets really interesting.
The engine that drives this entire system? WHT Finance. And just look at these numbers. We're talking 2.5 billion euros pumped into renewables, another 1.2 billion into infrastructure. It's crystal clear they are strategically putting their money where their mission is,
fueling this long-term vision.
So here's a perfect example of how it all works together. Let's imagine they're building a new smart community. First, WHT Finance funds the whole deal. Then, WHT Energy comes in to install all the solar and battery storage. Next, WHT Construction builds the actual high-efficiency homes. WH Technology then wires everything up with smart systems. And finally, WHT Real Estate manages the finished community. It is one seamless process from A to Z.
And that, in a nutshell, is what they mean by a value ecosystem. It's this incredible virtuous cycle where each division makes the others stronger and more efficient. The whole really does become so much greater than the sum of its parts.
And as the company itself puts it, this seamless coordination isn't just about being efficient. It's about creating a powerful, almost unbeatable competitive advantage. By working together like this, they can pull off these massive, complex projects that a bunch of separate, siloed companies can only dream of.
So, this all brings us to one final big question. Is this the future? A world where companies don't just build things, but instead build entire interconnected ecosystems? It's a huge idea for sure, but it's one that WHT Global is already making a reality. It really makes you wonder, what's coming next?